very difficult to be an umpire at the moment in the AFL. Now, what is going on?
Can you not just get out of the way?
We had reports this week, Brad. Scott also said that, we just need to get them out of the way. I've mentioned it a number of times. You reckon the studio here, Moons?
Yeah, right.
I mentioned a couple of times that he mentioned that got to get out of the way, out of the corridor. And
we want to take the ball through the corridor. That's where we want to see the game. We don't want to see umpires standing there.
The worst thing could have happened
Thursday
night in the first quarter, where we almost had, was it a Peter Carey moment where he marked the ball all those years ago in Fremantle game, that the umpire got in the way and from a Carlton inside kick, Brisbane sort of rolled into a goal, and it was like, oh my God.
And I was doing the game, and you reminded me, I said something on air that night. I said, you couldn't have a flatter crowd. The air was completely taken out of the stadium as soon as that happened. It was just like, okay, it just had to happen, didn't it? If you're a Carlton supporter, this is our night. This is exactly how our night's going to go. Our umpire gets in the way, they don't stop the play, and Brisbane kick a goal. Game over.
And also in the first quarter, I think it was the first quarter as well, that the two, Pitnet and also Wiedering, let the ball go through without touching it. So it's like, as a Carlton fan, we had some moments early, but it didn't work out. Now,
quick question for you. If this happens in a game, and I'm okay if it happens, sometimes it's
going to happen.
But
on the odd occasion.
Why isn't the game then just stopped, brought back, and a ball up? Why would you allow the opposition to then run into a goal?
It didn't make much sense. Like,
is that a rule, Ed? Do you know?
I'm not aware, no.
I think common sense, and I know we always say about this, but common sense would be that at a minimum you bring the ball back for a ball up. Now, Carlton are still going to be disadvantaged because they're probably going to take the chest mark.
Well, they were, but now they're completely disadvantaged.
But they've not only made a mistake that has affected Carlton or any team in that position, but then they've amplified that mistake by letting the play run and Brisbane roll into a goal.
What if they do it like in soccer where you just have a bit of etiquette? If a player goes down, opposition team just kicks the ball out, gives it back to them, and then
Well, this
go
is the
on
thing.
as we
I was
did.
going to say, should have Brisbane then in the middle of the ground let Carlton run down and kick a goal.
Well, here's the other one.
Middle.
You've got 4 umpires. How about the other 3 use some common sense and go, no. Let's just bring that back. Let's do a ball up. At least we bring it back to a 50-50 contest. We don't allow Brisbane to run into an open goal when it was clearly going to be a Carlton mark and obviously their possession.
So this is the frustration of a lot of players and coaches at the moment, is the fact that we have the 4 umpires. That's fine, whatever it happens to be. But the situation is that because we've got a lot of decisions, and I mean a lot of decisions, outside of the controlling umpire being made, it's frustrating a lot of players and coaches, and that's a big issue at the moment.
Well, I counted on 2 hands, I think, the amount of times a decision was made by an umpire in another zone where the umpire right in front of the contest didn't see or call whatever the ruling may have been. And I'm sitting there going, how do you not see that? It took a guy 50 metres away to see it. Like it was a really bad night for them, I think. And again, try and stay out of the corridor. That's where we want to play the game.
It's been frustrating now.
What do they say? Just believe they're invisible? Or
just run through them, I think is what they wanted to do. It's So this was Gary Lyons' take this week on SEM Breakfast. I'm sort of with him. I think, and I'm going to go through it, the AFL umpires need a rebuild.
He said they're like the West Coast Eagles. If you were trying to liken the coaching fraternity right now to a football club, they're like the Eagles. They are in that sort of big of a, not a hole, but in that big of a rebuild.
Right.
That's how much of work they've got to do. I'm only 2 years into a four umpire setup, which still is being ironed out. They lost players through COVID. The pathway program through the COVID period meant that there weren't enough umpires coming through. So there's reasons for it. But he said they are in a big spot of redevelopment. Maybe would you have more empathy after hearing all that?
No. Not me personally, but I can see Gary's point. Now, I want to rebuild the umpires. Give me a moment here, right? So I think there's a couple of things that we can do to help them. Now, play the kids. Now, one of the big things is they've actually added 11 new umpires in the last 12 months.
Yes.
So...
Well, you've got to because you've got 4.
Of course, but this is the second year. So in the last 12 months, they've added 11 fresh faces. I think what they were worried about by having 4 or going back to 3 is that they'll lose a lot of the older umpires that are the best decision makers. Honestly, they're not making good decisions. So let's just cut them off at the knees
Yes.
and get rid of that, get back to 3 and have it a bit more sort of fluent and bring the young ones in. They couldn't be making worse decisions.
No.
If you got an umpire from local footy running around at the moment, I don't think they could make worse decisions. So that's happening at the minute. Scrap the bounce.
Yes.
Got to be gone.
100%.
Keep the
Not the
stand.
show.
Not the show. Keep the stand
thank you.
rule.
Yes.
I'm for it. But if you're taking 30 seconds to have a set shot, no stand rule. So if you're taking your 30, the player can move across on the mark back, from side to side,
Okay.
north and south,
Okay.
whatever they call it, east and west, or whatever they call it. So if you're going to take 30, I don't want to see a guy standing 50 metres on the mark and a guy kicks the ball on the 50-metre line next to him. We've got to scrap that, I reckon. So let's keep that stand rule, but the inside 50. I think we're in a position now that the umpires need to just hop out of the way and not be part of the game. It's like you get emotionally attached to the game and have to be involved, and then the crowd get behind and put the pressure on. All of a sudden, we're falling apart. Bring the kids in, simplify the bounce.
Play the kids.
Play the kids. We're in a rebuild situation, and come out and be more honest about what we need to do and what's going on, because at the moment, it is, I know Andrew Dillon said last year, the year before, it's the best it's been. It is the worst it's ever been.
Well, he almost fell over himself when he said that. He's just
Tripped over his own
just,
comments.
He's just trying to take one for the team there.
Anyway, let's move on. Enough umpire bashing in the first part of the show this morning. How's your mate Kingy?